Welcome to Faith Fiction and Folklore, or the TryF podcast, where we try not to F it up. And today on our channel, we are going to talk about, Gary, what was we going to talk about?
We're going to talk about Benny Hinn and his security. May or may not have assaulted a YouTuber. And
Yes,
it was a video that Russell and KD pushed, but it wound up not really being so much about Benny Hinn as it was about prosperity gospel guys and this dude antagonizing prosperity preachers. And I guess we'll talk about the prosperity stuff if we don't stay on the Benny Hinn stuff. But we're going to look at the Benny Hinn stuff specifically and see exactly what happened here. If you will indulge me for a minute, I got to find the right spot. We did not select the correct timestamp for this one, although I've been trying.
Oh, my bad.
No, I had to do it, and I forgot to do it. I've been trying to find the correct timestamps for everything before we even begin the show, and I have been pretty bad.
Our show's been getting later and later. We've been busier and busier.
Yeah, because I keep trying to, find the timestamps. That's what's taking so long. And the fact that I'm getting up later. Anyway, because I'm a bat. Anyway, so we'll let this stupid ad play through.
I'm a bat. You got to let me fly.
I know that reference. See, if I'd had more time, though, I would have had that picture of South Park with Randy Marsh in his underwear, only I would have put Benny Hinn's picture over the top of Randy Marsh's face and had him saying, I thought this was America.
Oh, we got to do that.
Yeah, maybe. All right, so here we go.
That's Benny Hinn.
Amen. You may be seated.
Benny Hinn is a false prophet.
Enough is enough, brother. Enough is enough. Enough is enough.
No, I'm peaceful. You're a
Yeah.
Bro.
the word of God, somebody.
Help the dear man out. It's all right. No problem. It's all right, brother. Calm down.
Well, I was getting the George Floyd treatment, fighting for each breath.
I was going to say,
There you
don't
go.
tase me, bro, but I guess that's more topical. But anyway.
Days away.
Let's see what's left on this.
My cameraman ran for his life to avoid a similar fate,
So we're going to get into the scriptures. Can we do that now?
only to get captured and beaten with
Oh
his
my
own
gosh.
camera.
I was hit twice.
They hit him with a golf cart.
Ow.
Dude, he's out of the building. Why are you being so vindictive? Goodness.
Bro. So he was just trying to expose him.
That was
and they
like
got beat up for it.
that was like prosperity preaching Grand Theft Auto. That was amazing.
I want to watch that again.
I was hit twice with a golf cart. Assaulted by a person here.
Hey, at least you're smiling. Let's watch that again for the replay, boys and girls.
I have a camera, and I'm getting assaulted at church.
Let's marinate in that for a minute. You're right. I was assaulted at church by the staff.
I keep telling people I don't go to church because some of those people are very mean.
Apparently, they'll hit you with a golf cart.
And
Oh
your own
my
camera.
goodness. And your what?
And your own camera.
And your own camera. Yeah. Oh, wow. All right, let's for the replay.
It's all right, brother. Calm down.
While I was getting the George Floyd
Calm down,
treatment,
just
fighting
calm
for each
down.
breath, my cameraman ran for his life to avoid a similar fate,
So we're going to get into the scriptures. Can we do that now?
only to get captured and beaten with his own camera.
I was hit twice. I was hit twice with a golf cart. Assaulted by a person here. Then he tackled me and threw me into the middle of a active road. And after that, they kept beating my head. And then they grabbed my camera and they were trying to delete the footage. Actively.
I just got hogtied, body slammed and tackled. Pasha went running and apparently they clipped him with a golf cart and proceeded to beat his head in and delete the footage. So things are not looking good. We are headed to the hospital right now where he is. Gonna make sure he's alive. apparently they deleted all the footage from the camera, so it's gone. I've been trespassed. I'm headed to the hospital, making sure Pasha's alive. In an ironic twist of fate, the church themselves beat the shit out of us. From what it sounds like, beat the shit out of Pasha. So we're gonna check in.
I think he's fine, but dude, yeah, I think that qualifies as assault. Why isn't that the article? It's like, oh, Benny Hinn security hit a YouTuber. No, they hit him with a golf cart.
I should totally press charges.
Holy crap.
Wow.
Huh.
We don't want you to expose our lies.
Benny Hinn gets called a false prophet like 3 times a week. Why? That's a little extreme. I'm sure that's like a fairly normal occurrence.
Like, I understand them.
Goodness.
I understand them taking down the dude running up there. That's for safety reasons.
Yeah, but
chasing after the camera guy and running him down with a golf cart. You know what that reminds me of?
What?
Dude from Game of Thrones, when he runs down the boy, Arya Stark's friend.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
Cody says, ha ha ha. That's what happens when you disrupt a cult, dummies.
Yeah, I agree.
Apparently golf carts just have apparently cultists have golf carts on retainer. So they're just sitting waiting in the wings. Like, good night. I understand getting the guy off the stage, but once they run out of the building, shouldn't you just lock the doors and call it good?
Yeah,
holy
just
moly.
him from the place, and then boom. Look, poking a wasp's nest. Yep.
A prosperity wasp nest. Okay. Anyway. Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, the guy took it in good spirits, though. He's like, hey, you got me. You beat me with my camera. I had it coming.
Yeah.
But, I mean, yeah, you should totally call the cops.
That's insane.
What do you think? Is that better or worse than don't tase me, bro? I'm not sure. That's kind of close. I mean, how many times did the other guy get tased? This dude got hit with a golf cart twice. That's just.
Well, I think he just said they tried to tase him.
I don't
Or
remember.
he thought they were going to tase him. I don't know.
I don't remember. Either way, like, you could probably break a leg or something with that.
You could kill someone with a golf cart.
You think so? I don't know if you could kill him. You could give him a bad day, I suppose. But
mess them up at least.
yeah, that is horrible and yet so funny. So, okay, let's finish this up. I'm actually a little curious as to how this ends.
Yeah.
Was video evidence. They deleted the first one, so they could not touch the second one.
How are you telling them what happened there? What did they do? They ran
me over with a golf cart twice. He said I'm gonna die today. He threw me into the middle of the active roadway in front of a semi-truck.
He said you're gonna die today?
Wow.
How Christian. Are you sure they didn't hire like some sort of CIA like ops security team? It's like some jaded.
This is why
Yeah,
a lot of people
I don't know.
go
I'm gonna
to
just let it go.
churches, because they are afraid that this type of stuff is going to happen, or it actually does happen to
Yeah,
them.
I've had a lot of horrible anxiety-driven scenarios when I think about going to church. I have never once imagined I would be hit by a golf cart.
Right?
That's like a little out of left field. Not gonna lie.
Just by hanging out with a camera.
Huh. Well, it wasn't hanging out. They were disrupting. They needed to get kicked out of the service.
The cameraman
The
was
golf cart thing
He
was
was
a
just
little-
recording, and then another dude randomly ran up there, and the cameraman followed the eruption out the door. He could have just been one of Benny Hinn's cameramen, for all we know.
I don't know, man. It's like the Trunchable with a pop belly. Anyway.
It's a good movie.
It's like, some YouTubers are gonna die today. So, anyway. Let's see what else here.
An asshole. Like 4 or 5 people on top of me.
Yeah.
Beating on my head, ankles, knees. They snagged the camera out. They hit my head with the camera.
Shout out the son of Bishop Dan Willis, off-duty cop Chad Willis, for throwing me around like a ragdoll with his goon squad and giving me the George Floyd chokedown. And shout out this bald security schmuck for trying to murder Pasha with a golf cart. This video is by no means meant to be an attack on...
Well, to be fair, he did have to get you off the stage. But the golf cart thing is completely unacceptable. That's just nuts. Wow. Just lock the doors, guys. All right, let's see here.
Faith, but rather a demand for accountability to those who distort the word of the Bible, predate on the biblically illiterate, desperate, naive, and poor to make themselves wealthy. And in the words of Matthew 7:15, beware.
We've watched the grass video.
Yeah, I tried to show it to you.
Yeah, we've done a reaction to the grass video. That was nuts.
Of the false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravenous wolves.
What they do is scriptural macaroni. So they'll grab a verse here, and a verse here, and throw those all together and be like, see, if we make that soup, that's who I am. So for example,
Well, to be fair, that like describes 90% of church denominations, but okay. Maybe not 90, 80, 70, most.
Genesis 2, it says, we shall make them in the image of God, so the creation of us. Big issue that we have there is that they leave out likeness.
Not exact replica, one for one.
We're not like a clone or anything. Okay. We are like God. We have the image of God.
It's so clear if you just read it for yourself, without somebody else twisting it, without somebody just cherry picking one little verse out of its context and holding it against you, and realize that, hey, they've been lying to me the whole time.
God, he is big enough and more than capable of...
I always think back to it's a shame for man to have long hair. Like it's a mortal sin. It's a mortal sin if you have long hair. And when I was a kid, having a beard was like having long hair. That's how strict they were to find it. Oh yeah, it was like fire and brimstone if you had a beard. Never mind Samson having like long hair though. Like we don't talk about that.
We don't talk about Samson.
When I was at College of the Ozarks, they sat us in the first day at orientation, and they were trying to justify this whole not having long hair thing religiously, which it's their school. They could do whatever they want. You know, if they want to present this particular image or whatever and have everybody be all trimmed and whatnot, that's their right. They can do that. Don't hide behind religion, though. Anyway, the dean was like, it is a sin for men to have long hair or something. Did he say that? I don't know if he called it a sin, but the line that I remember the most is he was like, and some people say that Jesus had long hair. Well, we don't know that. That was literally his response. We don't know that.
And then they go into the line of it's a respectable thing to not have long hair, to be clean cut.
Yeah, well, it's respectful, but it's not a moral rule. And they always try to make it into a moral rule based on one verse without having any understanding of the culture or the time or what that actually meant. Or, just knowing the definition of the word shame, but whatever.
Yeah, that was the point I was trying to make, because if you come back at them and talk about Samson or, other Bible people, then they go into, well, it's just respectable.
Oh yeah, well the default that's the I'm beat, but I'm not gonna admit it. But technically respect is a biblical virtue. I'm like, oh, which commandment?
Thou shalt respect the
Was
Lord thy
Paul?
God.
Well, let me ask you something. Was Paul being respectful when he said, "I wish the circumcision crowd would just finish the job and emasculate themselves altogether"? Does that fall in the respectful camp? I'm confused.
Where does he say that?
I don't remember. I'd have to. Let me look it up. Because if you don't believe me, that's a good point. If you don't believe me, I should probably pull it up. So give me just a minute.
Because that is a big deal to a lot of people.
Being respectful?
No, the whole circumcision thing.
Give me just a minute. I'm still...
Because if I sit here and say, it's up to the parent whether or not they want to circumcise their kid. What about your religious views? I don't know where in the Bible it talks about it, but I have to look it up.
All right. Let's find the King James.
But it started with Abraham and God. And then Paul talked about it later.
Probably better. Sorry, say that again, Trevor. I want to get the full context here.
Paul talked about it later. And I don't know where it's at, but Gary's looking for it.
Oh, well, the verse in question is Galatians 5:12. I have the NIV up. I don't like the other versions. I want to go to King James here in a minute. But let's just start with 11. Brothers and sisters, if I am still preaching circumcision, why am I still being persecuted? In that case, the offense of the cross has been abolished. As for those agitators, I wish they would go the whole way and emasculate themselves.
Jeez.
And just for King James, I think it's a little more ambiguous in the King James, but let's pull it up. Let's see. No, wait, Yep, this is King James. The AI just omitted the last part of the. Oh wait, no, it was Bible Hub. Whenever I just pulled up the verse itself, they only quoted part of the verse because they didn't want to say the rest of it. Bible Gateway, you commies. All right. Filthy communists, come on. Good night. Here's the King James version. Brothers and sisters. Let me do it again. Okay, wait, no, I'm wrong. Sorry, NIV. My bad. I just didn't click on. I didn't click on the refresh enough. I thought I had, but apparently I hadn't. Anyway, here's King James. And I, brethren, if I yet preach circumcision, why do I yet suffer persecution? Then the offense of the cross ceased. I would they were even cut off, which trouble you. You know what he means.
No, thank you.
In other words, actually, that's a little more crass because they would cut off, which trouble you. He's not talking about their gonads. He's not talking about the stones. He's talking about the shaft. So that's a little harsher, actually.
You can probably show him with your cigar there what he means.
I'm shut up. I'm not gonna do that. So, anyway, yeah. Is that respectful, Christians? Is that respectful? I mean, I don't know why I'm referring to them as another group. I'm a Christian, but still, is that respectful? Ye traditional churchman, let's put it that way.
Ye olden traditionalist.
Ye olden church traditionalist. Anyway, so yeah, but it's a shame for me. So yeah, to my point in even bringing all that up is there. Again, I don't believe in the prosperity gospel. I don't agree with the prosperity gospel. But if we're gonna cast stones here, come on, most churches do that. They pick and choose and misread. Every one of them does that with something. Every one of them. And so let's not pretend like this is a unique phenomenon to the prosperity gospel people.
It's like, pay us well, and we'll teach you parts of the Bible that we want to teach you.
I'll tell you one thing that's definitely not respectful, though. Hitting somebody with a golf cart. That borders on being a little disrespectful, I'd say.
I'd say it tickles.
Yeah, it tickles. It tickles. There we go.
That poor guy, though. I'll send up a prayer for him.
I think he's fine. He was laughing about it. He's like, dude, I got hit with a golf cart. I'm like,
but he could make some money if he presses the right charges.
He could be like, was it Lucky from King of the Hill? Slipped on some PP and got $50,000. So,
heck yeah. He could probably get more than that.
He could probably get a lot more than that, yeah.
Especially if he gets his insurance involved.
Oh, yeah. That was wild. I want to watch the rest of that video. So let me. We're not going to.
Oh, you don't want to watch more?
We're at the 30-minute mark. This was about Benny Hinn, not the whole prosperity thing. So if you want to watch the rest of the, I expose the most corrupt churches in America. That's the title of the video, and the channel is Tyler Oliveira. Oliveira. I apologize for making your name sound like that. TylerAliveira. So, Tyler Oliveira. That's what I'm going to say. Oliveira. If you want to go to his channel, go to his channel and watch that video. And we're going to move on. Yeah, we're going to move on to part 4. So, if you're on the live stream, keep watching. If you're watching this after the fact, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Faith, Fiction, and Folklore. If you did, we would love it if you would subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Rumble. We can also be found on X, Instagram, and Facebook. And we are available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. Thank you again very much for listening, and we'll see you next time.